You can't see the tiny village in the bush called Barton Leas, for it's hidden in a hollow down a track and through the trees, and you'd pass it on the highway never knowing where to stop if it wasn't for a broken sign that indicates a shop. There are just 24 houses by the shop, a little pub, and an oval with no grass on, all burnt up just like the scrub, while the buildings look forsaken, peeling paint in every street, and the roofs are made of iron, fending off the scorching heat. You would think the place deserted if you ventured there by day, for the streets are always empty like the folk had gone away. But that's only in the summer, when the sun is at its height. If you want to see some movement, then you have to go at night. For it's then that all the neighbours gather drinking at the pub, or go out to tend their gardens, though their gardens are burnt up. For it hasn't rained in Barton Leas for years that I can see, when a passing shower startled them, the first since '53. The people seemed so friendly when John Inkerman turned up. He was just a passing drifter, quite a jolly, friendly chap. And the locals thought he'd fit right in and rented him a place. They would pay him for odd jobs, invite him round for tea and cake. There had never been an argument before in Barton Leas, for the folk were all good neighbours, helped each other, tried to please. But when Inkerman had called and whispered things to Molly Brown, the atmosphere began to change. He'd said, they put her down. Then little Amy Pearson began to fret and cry. When Inkerman had called on her, the neighbours asked her why. He'd told her that her husband Jeff was sweet on Ellen Tread. He'd seen the couple necking in the trees behind the shed. Then Mrs. Bartlett snubbed a friend she'd had for 20 years, while Mr. Bartlett smashed a glass and went for old Carstairs. While Peggy Neep had wandered out to tend her veggie patch to find that it was all dug up, her vegetables trashed. Then Gordon almost hit a tree when heading out of town. His truck had veered off the track, the tyres all let down. It seemed that almost everything that could was going wrong in Barton Leas since Inkerman, the drifter, came along. One night they held a meeting in the little village hall. The place was packed that night with all the neighbours, wall to wall. But later, when John Inkerman had tried to join the crowd, he found the doors and windows there had been both locked and barred. The meeting went till midnight. Then the neighbours wandered home, while Inkerman had stopped a few and asked what was going down. "Don't let that worry you, my lad," said Benjamin Tresize. "You'll find out soon enough. We'd like to keep it a surprise." One night, as Inkerman had slept beneath a haloed moon, dark figures stirred around his house, moved quietly through the gloom. From every house in Barton Leas they issued in the mist, on every face a coloured mask, a blade in every fist. The screams were truly terrible that night in Barton Leas, as in they filed and one by one ignored the drifter's pleas. And every blade was blood-stained when they filed on out the door, that not one would be guilty. As good neighbours, they would share. The villagers of Barton Leas are friendly, never dull. Their pub has gained an ornament that looks quite like a skull. And Peggy Neep grows veggies that when cooked just fall apart, so succulent they're fertilised by a drifter's heart.